Alright everybody, what's going on? This is your Dynasty Football League Week 2 report. Alright, now that being stated, I am going to go over a quick few things. Apologize right there. Getting noises in the background. Gotta learn to turn my phones off when I'm doing this. What I want to do right now is I'm going to go over the standings. I'm going to go over waiver wire, all that good stuff, so you guys are aware of where we're at and what we're doing. And we're going to take it from there. So I'm right here in the standings, but first I'm going to go to the bottom of this list. As you can see, it says AFC because that's where we have taken over within our Dynasty franchise here. So the number one team on the waiver wire is the Dublin Shamrocks. That would mean I have to get in touch with the Dublin Shamrocks and see if there is anything they would like to do waiver wire wise. They have first call, first dibs, if you will. And they're going to be able to make the first decision on what they would like to do. So we're going to take it from there and say, Alex Dar, get a hold of me obviously as soon as possible. Then we've got the Aviators, which is James Sargent and Ed Ritter with the Beats, Vernon Quinn with the Voyagers, Charlie Monk with the Elks, and then you've got the Dreadnoughts, which is Chris Davis. Now here's the one thing I want everybody to be aware of. Effective this week, Greg Thomas stepped down as owner of the Oklahoma City Bison. Said it would just be too much for him. He apologized. No big deal. No hard feelings. The Bison are in need of ownership. The Sacramento Miners would be next in line, and they were taken over by someone the very last minute. They also realized they probably won't have the time to do what they need to do properly. So the Miners are currently looking for an owner. So we have the Bison and the Miners looking for ownerships. So if you see this video and you're not part of the league and you would like to be possibly part of the league, message me. All the stuff's in the description of this channel. Why you would be the right choice for either of these teams. And if you join the league, you get first dibs on which one you want. The first team on the waiver wire that has a win would be the Red Dragons from M.A. Bose. Then the River Hogs of Thomas Schmolganovic, the Wizards of C.J. Coates, the Austin Armadillos by DW6 Killer. And then you've got the Chicago Cougars, which is Drew Ritter. And then you got the London Bulldogs, which is Taco Bose. You've got the Mounties, which is Dwayne Ritter. And the number one team in the league right now, based off wins and scores, belongs to Thomas W. Goodhart of the Memphis Steamers. Now, everybody's aware there's a major problem right now with the Madden franchise and Madden 21. I want you guys to know I'm going to hold off as long as possible to actually officially start week 2 and count of the crashing. I'm trying to see if they put out a patch or an update. Let me know, hey, we know the franchise crashes, so we're going to fix it. Now what that means, in case you've been unaware and haven't been paying attention too much to what's going on with the Madden franchise, we will run the games live, which you guys have seen. The games will end, and then when I go out of the game and hit finish a game, the game crashes. When a game crashes, it does not register the win or the loss. But because the game was officially over, the game knows it was over, and it does not bring up a screen that tells me finish. Now, we had a game shut down on us in the middle of a game once, and when I backed out and reloaded the game, I believe it was the Portland Riverhogs and the Sacramento Miners that were playing. It said resume game, which was great, so I got to resume it. So it's good that it's not registering it that way, because the game is officially over, and then all we get to do is go to the next game. And then when the games are over, I, as the commissioner, I will show you guys this, just so you guys know what I'm talking about, so you know exactly what we're doing right now. And I don't want to do it anymore because we've already done it once, technically 8 times. But I got to go into the schedule here. I go into league schedule, and let's just say it's the Steamers and Dreadnoughts. Let's just say we ran this game right now and it crashed on us. On the bottom you see actions, sort, and back as the X, square, and circle options. If I hit the X for actions, you will see this screen pop up. Force the home win, force the away win, reset. So say we ran the game and the Dreadnoughts get the win, and the game crashes. I would then go here, click this, and since the Dreadnoughts are the home team, I would click force home win. And then when the game gets simulated for the next week, they get the win. So what we ended up doing in week 1, every game crashed, which totally freaking sucked. There's nothing we can do about it, but what I was able to do was go in the schedule and force the win of all the winners. So everybody at least won their games, won for the week. Now I don't want to do that anymore, because what that's doing is it's affecting our league's statistics. It's affecting who scored, who didn't. As case in point, if you go here in the standings, oh my bad, you go here in the standings here, and you look in the AFC, and you see the last team here is the Shamrocks, and you will see that score. It says 35-0. Now I know for a fact that game was not 35-0. I actually had to double check to get the exact score on what it was, but I know it wasn't 35-0. But they are going to benefit from the fact that that's what we had to do, and that puts them last in the ring, and it's just going to go up until we go in order. Now I am opening the free agency wire right now today, and you have until 11 a.m. tomorrow. And the reason why it's 11 a.m. tomorrow is because I got to go by my schedule. So I apologize. You have until 11 a.m. tomorrow to submit any waiver wire moves you want to make, and I will get into the waiver wire moves here shortly. And I'll repeat that again when I'm going over the waiver wire. And it's going to be first come, first serve. So if anybody on this list, all 16 teams, can submit now. We know these 2 teams, as I stated, are searching for owners. They are going to be league run owned. Now I personally am not putting in waiver wires for those guys, those teams. They will be, in a sense, dormant. All I will do is put together the best possible starting lineup for those teams. That's pretty much what I'm going to do with that, and set it up from there. So everybody has a gold opportunity of what they're going to do. And I have a bunch of other little updates I'm going to give you guys as far as other little things we're going to do to make this league better with this week, which is also why I'm in no rush to get the week 2 started, and I'm going to wait for this glitch to get fixed. So that being stated, I will go to this free agency so you guys can see the free agency board. And we're just going to go one by one. Like I said, I will only show the top 7 of each position. You guys can look at it. And now while you guys are looking at this, I do want to mention how I was going to say about fixing the rosters and stuff. Any and all human players that were created and set in the draft, when they got drafted, some of the guys came out with very low overalls. So I am going to be fixing that. And what I mean by that is any human player that's on the bench, they will have their statistics loaded up, and they will be improved to at least be equal to the current computer starter. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that once I go through these free agencies, but I'm just trying to explain what I'm going to be doing. But long story short, let's just say you have a backup quarterback that's a human player, and he's, say, a 71, but your starter's currently an 82. That 71 will become an 82 to be equal to him. Sounds crazy, but if we're going to dedicate this league to human people and want humans to be a part of the league as players, we need to make sure their players are good. Simple as that. And if you think that's dumb, then the DFL is not for you. We're about trying to make the human player have fun. We're trying to make the owners have fun. So, but this here, like I said, we'll get to that here in just a moment. But this here's your quarterbacks. I don't honestly see any of these quarterbacks being picked up, but we will see. Here's your best running backs available. I pretty much feel the same way about these running backs. I don't know if anybody's going to be picking any of these up. Fullbacks. And hopefully you guys understand what the archetype means for players. If you don't and you're an owner, get the hell out. Just saying now. I'll be honest, I'm being very blunt when it comes to this league. Here's your top wide receivers. These, I could see some of these guys getting picked up. Simply for people to want to add depth and things of that to their roster in case a guy goes down. Moving to the tight ends. These are your top tight ends. Now remember, it's first come, first serve. So if Alex Dar says, I want Lorenzo Roten here, tight end, and James Sargent, who's next in line, says the same thing, Alex gets first dibs. He is lower in the pecking order. So that's how that's going to be. If you want more than one guy off the waiver wire, you may do so, but you can pick up no more than 3 guys a week. That is the limit, 3 guys in the week. So if you want 3 guys, just write them all down in the exact order you wish to have them and submit that to me. Moving on to left tackle. Some of these guys may go. I can see the first couple here go as upgrades to teams' backups if they're willing to spend money. Like, for example, I'll show you. Look at this guy. He wants $6.85 million for 1 season. Insane for a 72 overall who's 27 years old. But the salary cap in this game is outrageous. Here's your guards. Nothing to write home about here. More of your better players are on the defense. You guys will see that here momentarily. These are your top centers. Do understand, ladies and gentlemen, if you're like a team that wants to throw the ball a lot, you may want to pick up some of a pass protector type player. Add your depth. Moving on to the right guards. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is Mr. Smith at the bottom when he won $750K. That's nice. Moving to the right tackles. Yeah. Again, the offensive line work here is absolutely woof. You know, and what are you going to do when it comes to this? All right, going to our left ends. You got Troy Wallace. You got Horn. I mean, these guys may be somebody's willing to scoop up for depth. We'll have to wait and see. Who knows? Going to the defensive tackle position. Now, I'm going to say this right here. If he stays on the board, I'll be shocked just simply because he's 79 overall. He's 24 years old. He's got 95 strength. I can see somebody putting in a waiver wire move on this kid to add to their roster, whether it be because they need a new starter or because they need depth. Now, I will say this to you guys. I've done the videos before with your rosters. I don't want somebody messaging me and saying, hey, I want this guy, but I don't want him if this guy's not as good as my current guy. You should know your roster by now. I've done enough videos to show you your rosters. You have to be willing to put in the time to look at those videos or find them if you've lost them and look at it. Because if I'm going to run your team and help you pick the shit, I might as well just take over it. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Cuevas? Cuevas running back in the league. Glad that we have him. Left outside linebacker right here. Aries Ridley is without a doubt the best free agent in the entire league. $13.3 million if you want to pick him up for the season. So if you're willing to pick him up after week 1, have him for 15 games, he will cost you $13.3 million, damn near a whole $1 million a game. But at 86 overall at the left outside linebacker, I can honestly see someone scooping this kid up. But the one thing I do know, a lot of teams are salary cap stretched, and I'll get in there and do a manual trade just so we can see what everybody's salary cap is. So I'll be covering that here too. What's going on, James? Middle linebackers. These are your middle linebacker free agents. Remember, you can pick up no more than 3 guys in a week. You submit a waiver wire card, so to speak, with 3 players you're willing to chase. No more, no less if you want. So no more than 3, less if you want. And it's going to be first come, first serve based off waiver wire pecking order, which I've already shown. If you didn't see it, make sure you watch back the video. You'll see the order in which it's going to go down the line. Here's your right outside linebackers. Like I said, there's better quality on defense. Here's your corners. I mean, a 79. That's hilarious. His name is Brandon Williams. We already have a Brandon Williams in the league. But he's 23, 79 over here. He's Anton Flowers, 23, 77 overall. These are the types of guys that may get scooped up for depth and somebody might want to try and develop. Free safeties, 76. I mean, 26 years old. The age may affect somebody, but you know, it's not so bad. Strong safeties, again, pretty much the same range. And I don't know if anybody's going to want to chase kickers and punters, but we're going to show them anyway. Zane Gonzalez. If I'm an owner, I'm not buying Zane Gonzalez for $1.4 million. I'm going to take Brandon Marshall, who's 1 overall less, 10 years younger, and almost half the price. That's just me. And moving on to the punters. The youngest punter is 22 years old, and he's 67 overall. And again, I would do the same thing here. Instead of taking Tyson, that's 22 years old, 67 overall, $1.55 million, I would take him off somebody's practice squad, which would happen to be the Vikings. He's 22, 1 level overall lower, half the price. But, you know, to each their own. Like I said, and there's your top in the order, who's the best to the worst, you know, overall period, regardless of position. So you guys see that. Rudd, I have to say, I like the last name. Back in the days, I was a huge NASCAR fan with my pop. Ricky Rudd was my favorite driver, so that name just happens to stand out. All right, now I'm going to go check, like I said, manually do an improved team trade center. Best way to see the salary cap for each team. As you can see, top right-hand corner underneath each team name shows their salary cap. Red Dragons is 13.9 million cap room. Armadillos have 49.4 in cap room. So, wow, that's a big difference there when you think about it. 49.4 to 13.9. Wow. All right, moving to the Aviators, so they'd be the next in line. Oh, you get The Aviators only have 2.54 million in cap space. Not a good situation for them, but their team's pretty good, so I don't think they have nothing to worry about. The Beats, $50.5 million in cap space. And then you have the Bison. Holy smokes, they've got $91 million in cap space. Moving on to the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have $56.2 million. Then we go on to the Cougars. The Cougars got $6.92 million. The Dreadnoughts. I've been calling these guys the Dreads for short. $48.7 million. Some teams got some good cap space. Some teams, Some teams are kind of right there in the middle. Then you got the Elks with $24.7 million. Miners. The Miners got 73.5. I'm not gonna lie, the name Sacramento Miners drives me crazy, because Miners, I'm thinking of a young child. It's just been bothering me ever since the name was picked. And then you've got the Mounties. The Mounties got 16 million even. Riverhogs. The Riverhogs, oh boy, 4.56 million. Oh man. And you got the Shamrocks. The Shamrocks got 19.1 million. Then the Steamers, 24 million. I don't think I missed anybody. Or did I? Oh yeah, Voyagers and Wizards. Jesus. I'll be alright. The Voyagers, oh man, 77.5 million. That's a lot of cap space. And then the Wizards at 19.1. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the cap space for all these teams and how much they have and what they don't have. Now, I'm going to go into just the Red Dragons, because that's what I'm on, quote unquote, for improved team. And or not improved team, I'm just going to go to my team roster, because this is how I'm going to update it. And I want you guys to see exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go position by position now. You can see McLeod and McCullum are not human players, they're computer players. And the only reason why you guys know that is because the way the name is wrote. This is a human player. Now, what I'm supposed to do, and this is where my issue is becoming, I don't want to take George Gershwin Jr. and jump him all the way up to equal Avery Reddick. He's a 91. That is a huge, huge monster jump. So I'm going to have to figure out how I want to do this. And this is where you owners need to get in touch with me with your opinion. He's got to be better. He's got to see the field. He's a human player. Do I jump him all the way up to 91? Which to me seems crazy. Or do we need to set a number for all human players to hit? Meaning, let's just say the number is 85. I'm just picking a random number here. Gershwin gets to become an 85. Then do we drop Avery Riddick down to 85 to make it fair? So this way he starts. Because like I said, we want to get the human players on the field to start. Now, like I said, there's no human players here. There's no human players. I think we may have one or two human offensive linemen. Oh, man. And in case you guys are unaware how to tell who's a human and who's not, I'll show you here in a second. There you go. Angel Thomas is a human player. See how his name's in hyphens, the last name? That's how you know he's a human player. Now, him jumping from a 76 to an 84 does not bother me so much. But a 71 to a 91, good Lord, that's a huge, huge jump. So, owners, give me your opinion. I need to know before the end of the day. This way I can put the time in to do it. It's going to take me some time to update 70 plus players. I really don't want to have a set overall. I really don't. That sounds crazy. I don't want to say, okay, every human gets to be an 85, like I was just using as the example, regardless of position. But maybe that's the choice. Maybe it's a set 80. Maybe it's not. Lucius West, who's a proud member of our league, he's a wide receiver in the league, did very well in his opening game. He thinks 85 sounds great. But like I said, I don't want to jump a guy to 85 and then there's still somebody above him. And if there's somebody above him, I kind of want to bring that guy down to at least an 84. This way the human player becomes the starter. Like I said, it sounds wrong. Like here, Scotty Pringle's the starter at an 80. His backup's a 72. He's already the starter. Do I bump him another 5 if 85 became the average choice? Obviously, the answer to that would be yes. But I just need to know what we want to do as the average number. Oh, so they got a kicker here too, Bo Davis. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take Bo Davis for example. I'm not going to update him right now, but see all this information here down at the bottom. Edit player. So I would click this right here. Then I can change his name and all this good shit. We're not worried about that. I'm not going to do a change on the height and all that other shit. Then you got the equipment. Nope, no big deal. And then right here, ratings. I would then just do this. Now obviously it was a 62, but I'm going to bring it back. I can update any of these informations to get his overall to the number in which we pick. Lucius Weston's in the chat. He's making a suggestion of instead of picking a flat number, we base it off position, which might, again, not be a bad idea. We technically have 16 teams, 14 owners. So the owners, you guys are going to have to come up with what you think is the best possible answer. And I'm going to go with whatever seems to be the most voted on. Now, somebody might come up with a decision of, hey, let's go with 85, like I was saying. And the next guy might say 80. And now I might get 4 guys saying 85 and 4 guys saying 80. And then everybody else in the league's got something completely different. Well, then that's the top 2 choices. I would then just take the middle, which would be 82 or 83 overall, and we'll compromise it to the middle of that. And that's what I'm going to have to figure out based off everybody's thoughts, opinions, decisions. I'm going to have to find the happy medium and make a call as the commissioner of the league. This way I ain't got to keep coming to the owners and take time out of their busy lives. So it's that simple when it comes to that. And now, going back to these waiver wires too, you guys now see discard changes. You guys seen your cap space. When you want to pick up anybody, make sure you think you can afford him. And if you can't, why are you submitting it? And now, again, I've done the videos where you can see your team. Like, for example, I'm going to go in here, and we're going to go into the Red Dragons. Now, this is their quarterbacks. They know this. They've been paying attention, I hope. Do they still want to stick with McLeod? Or are they going to message me and say, no, I want to put McCallum as the starter? That's the thing I need to know. There's one team that's already let me know this, and that is the Mounties, who have the benefit of 2 computer-owned quarterbacks, which happen to be real NFL quarterbacks, and that's absolutely ridiculous. And this is another team I wanted to bring up this information to. 99 and 99. There's no way I'm bumping Gunnar Walking Stick to a 99. This is not happening. If I bump him to an 85, guess what? He's still going to be on the bench. And we want to try and make human players start. But for the Mounties, I'm not going to say, hey, Mounties, you got to lose these 2 quarterbacks. Well, I don't know if they have that much money wrapped up in these 2 guys. Is absolutely insane. But he's got a plan. But as my point I was going to make here, if Walking Stick would be okay with it, I know the Mounties would be okay with it. Say 85 became that happy medium. He gets bumped to an 85 and rides the bench, while these 2 over-the-hill quarterbacks basically play their season out and probably retire. You see, Patrick Mahomes has 13 years and 12 years. There's no way these guys are going to last much longer in the league. Walking Stick gets bumped to an 85, rides the bench. And like I said, I'm not going to force the Mounties to drop these 2 quarterbacks so he can start. The last option is he were to trade Walking Stick to a team. That's the only option. Or release them for somebody to pick them up. You know, that could be the only other compromising option somebody would get stuck in doing. But like I said, teams are going to have to be willing to make sacrifice and decisions to help out, you know, teams like that. I'm just seeing if any other teams got quarterback issues. Like here you go, Savage, 68. 86. 85 becomes the happy medium. He goes to 85. He's still going to ride behind him, who's 26 years old. And I'm sure he'll have at least 4, 5, 10 years left in him. Savage then has to ride the bench unless the owner of the Shamrocks, which happens to be Alex Dar, says, yeah, start Mario Savage despite being 1 less. Which to me is not a bad choice because he's 6 years younger. He's going to be able to develop a lot faster. And the one thing everybody needs to know this, I'm going to show you. I think it's going to be going the other direction, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Player development. Normal. Everybody's normal. I can change this for any player. But all human players were set to normal. But that does not mean they can't develop into a star, a superstar, or a superstar X Factor. It is possible. All the players got to do is develop and play to get there and to achieve certain goals. That's all he's got to be able to do. So, I've been on here, 28 minutes? Going on 29 minutes, basically a half hour. Again, you guys know the pecking order. I showed at the beginning of the video, of the standings and what the order is. I can easily go to it again right now while we're doing this. Again, it's from the bottom up. They get first dibs on up. I got over it earlier in the video. Slower than this. I even mentioned each team by name. 3 waiver wire issues is all you can do. It's all you can send. I might as well do the divisions. There you see that. Mounties, Cougars both 1-0. And then you got the Beats and the Aviators both 0-1. And so, again, that is your standings here in the north. Then you go to the south. Armadillos are 1-0. Bison, Dreadnoughts, and Voyagers all 0-1. So, that's going to be a fun division. And what I love is Texas, Texas, Texas. And then, of course, Oklahoma. Then you got the East. 3 teams 0-1-0. The Steamers, Bulldogs, Wizards, and the Shamrocks 0-1. And again, the Shamrocks get first dibs on the waiver wire. Then moving to the West, Riverhogs and Red Dragons 1-0 each. Miners and Elks both 0-1. So that is the standings. You saw the freaking free agents. You've been updated on the rules and what we want to do. Like I said, I need to hear from owners before the end of the day what you think. And if you're a player in the league or a fan of the league, don't be afraid to submit your ideas too. Because I could take your ideas and then present them to the owners. They might like it. Like Lucius presented 2 ideas right here during the show. 85 overall for everybody, or an overall depending on the position. Both are going to be suggested by me to the owners when I talk to them, and then see if they like either idea and come back with a number. They might love the quote-unquote 85 across the board, but they might want to go 80 instead. The position, and if we go by position, they're going to have to present a number for each one. But that being stated, I'm going to wrap this here video up. Week 2 will start once we get through all this stuff. Like I said, I got to update players. I got to go through the waiver wire, and I'm going to see, hopefully, if the crash glitch finally goes away before we start week 2. So bear with us here. We will give you some updates when it comes to the Dynasty Football League. And if you're not a member of this league, you can still get on a team. You can still get on a team. All you got to do is get a hold of us. And check us out. The website's at the bottom of the screen in the green bar. dflmadden.weebly.com. Go there. Applications on there, and you can tell how to get a hold of us, how to get in touch with us. We'll gladly get you on the team, because what we'll do is we'll end up throwing you in the free agent pool. Somebody's going to pick your ass up, especially if we're going to be changing the rules here for human players and jumping guys and possibly like the 85s and stuff. So you will get scooped up on the quickness, but you will obviously get picked up by a team near the bottom of the barrel, because you're going to become a hot commodity. So maybe you will be the player that turns some of these teams around. That being stated, I'm going to wrap her up. We'll see you soon in week 2. And subscribe to the channel if you've not. Support us. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. Share this league with people. Let them know we're here, because we're trying our best to grow a very good simulation league here. And all we're about is fun. We don't use Stone Age video games here. We just want fun, camaraderie, no bias. You know, I don't care if you're my buddy. You screw up, you screw up. I'm not picking someone else's side. I'm picking you over someone else when they're in the right and you're wrong. You know, I've seen that way too many times in other leagues. As the commissioner, I'm going to call right down the middle, no matter who it is, if there's ever an issue. But I don't think we're going to get that here. We've got a bunch of good guys here. I know some of you guys are part of the International Championship Wrestling field. I'm going to release the show dates later for the ICW, so you guys know that. But for the DFL, this has been your week 2 report. I'm out of here. Later.